Breaking news. At 04:19 a.m. Coordinated Universal Time, instruments on 3 continents registered a deviation that should not exist. An interstellar object already deep inside the inner solar system, an object tracked, modeled, and mathematically constrained for months, changed its trajectory. Not gradually, not subtly, it turned. The data arrived first as noise, then as disbelief, and finally as confirmation. Today, the impossible just happened. Moments ago, analysts confirmed that 3I Atlas executed a measurable, non-gravitational change in direction while under continuous observation. This changes everything we thought we knew about interstellar objects. If you want continuous updates on the most profound cosmic discoveries unfolding right now, make sure to like this video and subscribe, because what we're witnessing tonight may redefine our place in the universe. The confirmation did not come from a single telescope or a lone observatory. It emerged from a convergence of the world's most advanced scientific institutions, cross-verifying data in real time. NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena was the first to flag the anomaly. Within minutes, the European Space Agency's Operations Center in Darmstadt independently detected the same deviation. Observatories affiliated with Harvard, Caltech, and the European Space Network began emergency data-sharing protocols. The James Webb Space Telescope, already tasked with spectroscopic monitoring of 3I Atlas, was instructed to halt scheduled observations and lock on to the object. Hubble followed, recalibrating its guidance system for continuous optical tracking. From the Atacama Large Millimeter Array in Chile to radio arrays in Western Australia and Spain, the world's eyes turned to a single point in space. To understand why this moment matters, we need to understand how impossible this maneuver truly is. 3I Atlas was first detected as an interstellar visitor. Its hyperbolic trajectory made that unmistakable. It was not bound to our sun. Its velocity, exceeding 32 kilometers per second relative to the solar barycenter, placed it firmly outside the rules that govern comets born within our system. For months, its path had been modeled with extraordinary precision. Gravitational influences from the Sun, Jupiter, and even relativistic corrections were accounted for. There was no uncertainty large enough to hide what just occurred. 48 hours before the event, 3I Atlas was behaving exactly as predicted. Its velocity vector aligned within 0.0003 degrees of forecast models. Surface temperature estimates hovered around 410 Kelvin as it approached perihelion. Spectral analysis showed a composition inconsistent with typical cometary ice, low volatiles, minimal outgassing, and a strangely uniform reflectivity across multiple bands. 11 hours later, nothing had changed. 6 hours after that, still nothing. Then, at 04:19 UTC, the trajectory shifted by 0.38 degrees. That number may sound small. In celestial mechanics, it is enormous. No known natural process could produce such symmetry. Outgassing jets, the usual explanation for cometary nudges, were absent. Infrared sensors detected no corresponding thermal plume. There was no increase in mass loss, no fragmentation, no rotational instability. Yet the momentum changed, cleanly, precisely, controlled. Within minutes, simulations were running on supercomputers at Caltech and CERN. Gravitational models were rerun from scratch. Instrument error was ruled out after redundant confirmation from 7 independent platforms. A silent room in Pasadena filled with whispered recalculations. I remember staring at the data feed as the realization settled in. This was not noise, this was intent, or something disturbingly close to it. As the hours passed, new anomalies surfaced. The object's rotation rate adjusted in synchrony with its new trajectory, stabilizing within 30 minutes. Spectral lines shifted subtly, suggesting a temporary change in surface properties, almost as if energy had been redistributed. Radio telescopes detected faint electromagnetic pulses at intervals of 97 seconds, not random, not chaotic, repeating. When analysts converted the pulse spacing into frequency ratios, they aligned with prime numbers 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. The pattern persisted for exactly 43 minutes, then stopped. This was the moment the scientific community split. One camp argued for an exotic but natural explanation. Dr. Elaine Kessler of the Harvard-Smithsonian Center proposed that 3I Atlas could be a fragment of an ancient, ultra-dense interstellar object with internal stress release mechanisms unlike anything observed before. She suggested phase transition outgassing at the molecular level, undetectable by current sensors, might account for the maneuver. Her models were elegant, mathematically consistent, and deeply unsettling because they required entirely new states of matter.
The other camp was less comfortable. Dr. Arun Velasquez at Caltech presented a different interpretation. His simulations showed that the energy required for the observed trajectory change, approximately 3.1 times 10 to the 12th joules, could not be produced internally without leaving thermal signatures. If this were a machine, he said during a closed-door briefing, this is exactly what controlled propulsion would look like when designed to minimize detectability. NASA did not endorse either view. Official statements used careful language. Anomalous non-gravitational acceleration, they said. Unexplained but under investigation. Privately, emails leaked describing the event as Category Red. Observation priority was elevated above several planetary defense missions. Then came the second wave. 17 hours after the turn, one segment of the object, previously identified as a surface irregularity, vanished. Not separated, not fragmented. It simply ceased to appear across all wavelengths. Optical, infrared, radio, even gravitational microlensing signatures dropped to zero. It was as if a portion of 3I Atlas had been erased. The remaining mass adjusted instantly, maintaining structural stability. This was no longer random, it was responding. Almost simultaneously, Earth-based systems began to register subtle disturbances. Low Earth orbit satellites reported transient orientation errors. GPS timing discrepancies reached up to 13 nanoseconds, insignificant for daily life, catastrophic for precision systems. Magnetometers in northern Canada and Scandinavia detected nanotesla scale fluctuations unrelated to solar activity. Migratory birds altered flight paths across Eastern Europe. None of this caused panic. Almost no one noticed, but inside control rooms, the silence was heavy. Governments were informed. Some responded, others did not. ESA halted public briefings. NASA delayed a scheduled press conference without explanation. Encrypted communications surged between agencies. The words intentional maneuver appeared more than once in classified summaries. And then, as suddenly as it began, the activity stopped. The pulses ceased. The object stabilized on its new course. No further adjustments, no signals, just a silent interstellar body drifting under its own rules. This is the moment that demands reflection. For centuries, we believed the universe was indifferent, beautiful, vast, but governed by laws that cared nothing for us. Tonight, that belief is under pressure. Maybe what we're witnessing is not an invasion, not a threat, not even a message, but a demonstration. A reminder that intelligence may move quietly, efficiently, and without announcement. Maybe we're not witnessing the end, but an invitation. An invitation to question our assumptions, to expand our physics, to accept that the universe may be more crowded, more subtle, and more awake than we ever imagined. As of this moment,
3I Atlas continues on its altered trajectory, outbound once more, slowly fading from our instruments. But the data remains, the questions remain, and one thought refuses to go away. If it could turn once, what happens when it turns again? Subscribe to follow the next update. This story is not over.